It's August 18th, 2020, and this is Sketchworks NewsBrake. The news stops here. I'm Brian Troxell, and I'll be taking your dinner order this evening. Up until last week, New Zealand was boasting they had gone 102 days without any new coronavirus cases. Ooh, look at us. We beat COVID. Crack open another Foster's. I know Foster's is Australian, but I don't know what the Kiwis drink. At any rate, New Zealand's bragging bit them in the arse. There have been 58 new reported cases of coronavirus in the island nation. As a result of this new outbreak, New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern decided to delay the country's national elections from September 19th to October 17th. Upon learning of Ardern's decision to delay national elections, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi immediately flew to New Zealand with 10,000 mailboxes. The Democratic National Convention kicked off last night. Now, it was originally supposed to take place in Milwaukee, with the usual 5 hours of speeches each night and day-long coverage on every single network and a constant barrage of idiot talking heads on all the cable news channels. But this year, due to the coronavirus pandemic, the convention is virtual and stripped down, with a few recorded speeches and only 1 hour of TV coverage each night. Next week's Republican convention will be the same. To this, we say, thank you, coronavirus pandemic. Large Democratic donors unable to speak at the convention are Harvey Weinstein, who's incarcerated for rape, and Jeffrey Epstein, whom the Clintons had murdered a year ago. In her speech last night, Michelle Obama didn't mention vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris at all. It turns out the snub wasn't malicious. The former First Lady apparently recorded her video a while ago, before Harris was added to the Democratic ticket. She recorded it so long ago that, at the time, Bernie Sanders only had 2 pieces of firewood. Since it was announced literally minutes after we posted last week's NewsBrake, Joe Biden has selected California Senator Kamala Harris to be his running mate. When asked what qualities Harris brings to the ticket, Biden responded, "Her hair smells amazing." Now, we're just kidding. In actuality, Joe Biden has no idea who his running mate is. Many progressives don't see the Kamala Harris choice as enough. Here for commentary is NewsBrake correspondent and former Ralph Nader supporter, Allie O'Neill.
Hey, Kamala, I'm real happy for you, and I'm gonna let you finish, but you're just, part of the system, man. Trumpers are trying to characterize Kamala Harris as a far-left socialist. Like that's somehow a bad thing. But I can tell you, as a far-left socialist, she ain't one. She's as middle of the road as a turning lane. She's like one of those little butter cookies that comes in the sewing kit. Now, if you ask anybody what their favorite cookie is, nobody's gonna be like, oh man, I'm all about those little butter cookies that come in the sewing kit. The ones that are shaped like little flowers and they got holes in it and you put them on your fingers like rings and you can eat around the edges of them. No, if you ask someone what their favorite type of cookie is, they're gonna say chocolate chunk, macadamia nut, oatmeal raisin if they got something wrong with them. But if your options are butter cookies from the sewing kit or no cookies at all, most people are going to smile and say thank you and go with the butter cookies that they don't like anyway, because our parents taught us to be grateful for the things that we have.
Thank you, Allie.
But there is another way. You don't have to accept what the DNC has given you, because what the DNC has given you is a man who has been accused of sexual assault. No, bad DNC. You go to timeout. You do not get to play. Red and blue are not your only options, folks. You can choose green. You can vote for blue all the way down the line for everything else, but when it comes to voting for the president in 11 weeks, choose green. Howie Hawkins supports the Green New Deal, has a black woman as a running mate, and has never been accused of sexual assault. Now, my teleprompter is broken, and I can't remember how I phrased this, but when I wrote it out, it was real good, so I'm gonna just read it off my phone. If you believe your vote truly matters, which it generally doesn't, but it will if you send a message to the establishment and vote green, then send a message to the establishment and vote green. Now, usually I wear black because that is the color of my dark, depressed soul, but I bet from now on, you can guess what color I'm going to be wearing. For Sketchworks NewsBrake, I'm Allie O'Neill.
Thank you again, Allie O'Neill. I'd like to make clear that Sketchworks NewsBrake has not received any money from any political party or PAC, despite our best efforts to do so. A bald eagle is the winner in a fight with a government drone over who controls the skies. The eagle ripped a propeller from a drone being used to map Lake Michigan and knocked it into the lake below. President Donald Trump is so impressed, he plans to nominate the bald eagle to be the next Secretary of the Air Force. On Friday, police and firefighters in Pleasanton, California, helped an owl who had become entangled in kite string around a streetlight. I thought owls were supposed to be smart. Couldn't it figure out for itself how to get untangled? Or better still, not get tangled in the first place? Owls are so stupid. Workers renovating a library in Walla Walla, Washington removed a panel in the mystery book section and discovered 5 cans of Ham's beer and a pouch of Godzilla Heads chewing gum. The items were most likely placed behind the panel in the late 1980s. And while the Ham's beer has long since turned stale, the Godzilla Heads gum doesn't expire for another 9 years. I wish I could find beer at my local library. I keep finding heroin. Our newest member of Congress may be the human equivalent of those conspiracy theories your Uncle Jim keeps posting on Facebook. Marjorie Taylor Greene won the Republican primary to represent Northwest Georgia, despite numerous videos where she promotes racism and QAnon conspiracy theories. She'll likely win in November since the district is very Republican. Remember when people lost elections because they sat in a tank? When a woman in Tennessee received her photo ID in the mail this past week, the photo was not of her face, but of an empty chair, proving to everyone that she is indeed a vampire. We may finally have something that could convince everyone to wear a mask. No, it's not the growing number of deaths from COVID-19, nor is it the millions of people who lost their jobs in the pandemic. Sketchworks NewsBrake correspondent Tim Millard tells us the reason is as American as apple pie.
I've never played college football in my life. I mean, come on, look at me. One look at me should tell you that. However, it's clear there are a lot of people who want to watch other people play college football.
I'm going crazy about being quarantined. I think other people are tired of, let's move on with our life. When they stormed Normandy, they knew that there were going to be casualties, there's going to be risk.
That's former Notre Dame football coach Lou Holtz comparing athletics to, yeah, you heard him right, World War II. Go ahead and check that one off your 2020 bingo card if you haven't already. Lou Holtz is not a medical doctor, but he's not the only one who's making comparisons to war. Just listen to this actual medical doctor.
For the war that we're in against COVID, I'm asking you to do 4 simple things. Wear a mask, social distance, wash your hands, and be smart about crowds. If we don't do that, as I said back last April, this could be the worst fall from a public health perspective we've ever had.
Yeah, but how many college football championships has the CDC won? That's right, none! All kidding aside, it's clear there are some college football players who really do want to play.
We want to play. That's what we're here to do. That's what we love to do.
Clemson's Trevor Lawrence is becoming the face of the We Want to Play movement. He argues athletes are much safer in the quarantined environment that is college football. Plus, Clemson's team has its own chef to make them steaks. Wow! I'd risk a pandemic for that. For Sketchworks NewsBrake, I'm Tim Millard.
Thank you, Tim Millard. And yes, having a personal steak chef is pretty damn awesome. Video of University of North Georgia students attending a big party without anyone wearing masks is garnering national attention and outrage. To be honest, most of the criticism is unfounded. I got there about 20 minutes after that video was taken and everyone was in perfect health and feeling no pain at all. I brought 5 cans of Ham's beer and a pouch of Godzilla Heads chewing gum. Had a great time. Got to say hi to some moms at that party. Over the weekend, police in Tampa Bay, Florida discovered a disheveled and disoriented man has, for several weeks, been living in a luxury suite at the home stadium of the United Soccer League team, the Tampa Bay Rowdies. They have since learned the man's identity. He's the team's owner. The Lynchburg, Virginia Humane Society named a 6-year-old black cat after actor Dennis Quaid. When actor Dennis Quaid learned of his namesake cat, he contacted the organization and told them he would like to adopt feline Dennis Quaid. Quaid then said, maybe they should start naming animals in shelters after different celebrities and see who bites. This morning, I learned the Atlanta Humane Society named a cat after me. So tomorrow afternoon, I pick up feline Brian Troxel. I hope he's cute. An Alaska woman who gave birth to a baby in an airplane on the way to the hospital has named her son Sky after his unique birthplace. Though the baby was born a month early, if he'd been born just an hour earlier, he could have been named Runway. Thousands of naked people will not be riding their bikes through Philadelphia this year because the coronavirus pandemic is responsible for the cancellation of the Philly Naked Bike Race. Once again, we say thank you, coronavirus pandemic. No ifs, ands, or buts. Finally this week, we started doing Sketchworks NewsBrake in our live shows way back in early 2015. This week, NASA released the results of a study predicting that over the next century, the United States could see droughts that are drier and longer than those seen in over 1,000 years. As a precautionary measure, Fulton and Gwinnett County schools will be closed on Monday. And it's been nothing but smooth sailing over the years. Doll collectors and bird watchers. I just realized this joke's not going to work. Now, she would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for that pesky meth addiction. Whoops, breaking that for tomorrow night's show. You can see how much comb-over technology has improved since then. But it was 6 months ago today, February 18th, that we started doing these weekly filmed NewsBrake reports. Ironically, these were originally intended to help promote our live shows. We had no idea that only a few weeks later, a global pandemic would shut down live theater forever, leaving Sketchworks NewsBrake as the world's only comedy entertainment. Here now is a look back at the last 6 months of Sketchworks NewsBrake. It's February 18th, 2020, and this is Sketchworks NewsBrake. The news stops here. It's February 25th, 2020, and this is Sketchworks NewsBrake.
It's March 3rd, 2020.
It's March 31st, 2020. It's April 28th, 2020. It's May 5th, 2020. It's May 26th, 2020. Hold on. Wait, hold on. That's not really what we had in mind. Full disclosure, none of us wanted to do the montage editing, so we outsourced it to Fiverr. I guess you get what you pay for. It's probably for the best, since the last 6 months are probably better off being forgotten entirely. And so that's all for this inaugural Sketchworks NewsBrake. We'll be back next week, and we hope you are too. I'm Brian Troxel. Say hi to your mom for me.
There's something happening here, but it ain't exactly